Hello viewers. It's really a great pleasure to welcome all of you to this television program of School of Education, that is Education Faculty of Bangladesh Open University. Today's program is specially designed for B.Ed teacher candidates of B.Ed course. Dear trainees, my name is Muhammad Arifuzzaman. I am a teacher at School of Education, Bangladesh Open University, and today we are going to talk about language awareness, part 1, and session 16 of the B.Ed book Teaching English-2, EDBN 2523. By the end of the session, you all will be able to build a platform for language awareness, revise basic grammatical items, raise awareness for practical grammar reference books. At the very beginning of our discussion, let's have a clear idea about language awareness.
Language awareness can be defined as concrete knowledge about language, clear perception and sensitivity in language teaching, learning and language use. Language awareness can be defined as an ability to explain language capacity, explore and analyze the language properly, and issues concerning the causes of changing or use of English all over the world, and finally keep in touch with the changing norms of English worldwide. As a language teacher, a teacher should be more active about the language structure, its meaning, its usage and its changing and development. If a teacher is not available or affluent in linguistic knowledge, it will definitely hamper his or her language classroom, and ultimately his or her teaching will not be effective one. So, as a language teacher, he or she must be competent and conscious about the changing and development of language worldwide. In this connection, he or she can consult with different functional grammatical books, and now this is an age of science and technology. So, a teacher, especially a language teacher, can easily get and keep herself updated with the changing pattern and the changing system of language teaching through the use of internet.
Dear learners, nowadays there are a good number of language standards. Standards of English language we do have. For example, American English, British English, Australian English, Canadian English, Caribbean English, African English, even our Indian English, and a number of language teaching methods and approaches as well. For example, grammar translation method, audiolingual method, communicative method and approach. So, dear trainees, if you are aware of these methods, approaches and standards of English, so it will be easier for you to get clear idea about language awareness. So, how can you define or how can you understand the importance of language awareness?
Importance of language awareness. Language itself is a learning process, and this is a conscious learning. This is not acquiring a language rather than learning. So, whenever anybody is learning a second language, he or she must have some conscious knowledge regarding that particular language, and whenever learning is concerned, he or she or any particular learner of a second language must have clear ideas about some grammatical patterns like verbs, tenses, gerunds, voice, different types of adjective, noun, pronoun, verb, etc. And he must have some clear ideas about tense of that particular language. So, without grammatical sense, one cannot be a good user of a language, and he or she cannot achieve grammatical knowledge, and ultimately he or she will not be able to use the proper uses of a language.
Linguistic competence, communicative competence, linguistic accuracy, that is grammatical accuracy, fluency, these are very popular terms in the world of language learning and teaching. especially in English language learning and teaching, that is ELT. So what could be the discussion about grammatical accuracy?
Accuracy. Actually, there are two things, accuracy and fluency. So we are today, learners, we are today talking about accuracy, I mean the language learning. So language learning is directly concerned with the accuracy. So accuracy totally depend on grammatical usage, knowing the rules of grammar consciously. If a student or learner is not fluent about or conscious about or an expert user of a grammatical rules, he or she will not be able to acquire grammatical accuracy. So in this regard, the student or the learner should have a good command over grammar, and this is very important regarding accuracy. We need to here discuss on the grammatical accuracy and competency. So grammatical accuracy actually depends on a massive practice. If the learners don't practice any language massively or to a large extent in the classroom or his or her house, he or she cannot be able to an expert language users. Dear learners, to have a clear idea about language awareness or to be a fluent or expert user of a language, we will practice today some grammatical item here with the help of our board. So let's have a look on the board. Dear learners, we will practice here some grammatical item as I have told earlier. So the first item we would like to practice here is noun, and here you will practice among your learners the difference between countable and uncountable noun. Underline the nouns in each sentence, write C for countable and NC for non-countable above each noun. So I will pick here 3 sentences. With the help of those 3 sentences, you will try to make your student clear about the noun, countable and uncountable noun. Number 1, transportation is expensive in a big city. Number 2, pollution is not a problem in my village. Number 3, you are the last person in the office. Turn off the equipment, please. The second item, the second linguistic item is nouns as adjective. I mean here noun will be used as adjective. So complete the sentences with words from the box. Here will be a box, and within this box there will be 5 words, and following this box there will be 5 sentences. So your student will pick the words from the box to fill in the blanks of the sentences. So the first sentence, A, winter coat is good for cold weather. Number 2, the chocolate cake is delicious. Number 3, the red book is from the school library. Here 3 words. In sentence 1, winter, in sentence 2, chocolate, and in sentence 3, school. All these words are noun, but in the context of this exercise, all the 3 words are used here as adjective. Our next linguistic item is verbs, that is spotting common errors, which is known as in our country correction of sentences. So you know, correction of sentences deals with many linguistic errors and mistakes. So here I would like to give you 3 examples. First one is, Rina seldom calling me on the weekends. Here we have seldom and on the weekends. So but the condition of verb is calling. So here would be, right answer would be calls, that is in present simple tense. So number 2, the sentence, I eating in the cafeteria every day. So the person or the subject of this sentence eats regularly in the cafeteria. So in that sense it is an habitual fact, and as we know all, it is known to all of us that habitual facts are in is always present tense. So the right answer for this sentence will be it. The third sentence is the children watch television right now. So the action is taking place just right now, and whenever the action is taking place right now, it is usually used in present progressive tense, I mean the present continuous tense. So the answer for the sentence will be are watching. The children are watching TV right now. Dear learners, our next linguistic item is use of articles. Here are 3 sentences I will put for your betterment, and I expect you will practice this among your learners to have a clear idea about the proper use of articles. Number 1, please buy dot or gap apples. Munir loves gap Bengali music. Number 3, it was late, but gap stores were still open. So dear learners, as you are the teacher of secondary English language, so these are the clues, these linguistic items are clues for you how to teach and how to raise awareness or consciousness among your learners. So that's why I am not providing answer for this article practice. Next item, the use of modal verbs. From the statements or question with modals of request and permission and write them down, use the following words, punctuate your sentence correctly. I mean, here will be some haphazard word in the board, and you are asked, your learners will be asked to make them in a proper sequence so that they can make a meaningful sentence by the use of modal verbs. So here your learning point or learning outcome is to make your student write a meaningful sentence from a jumbled order with the use of may or might, can or could. The use of comparison of adjective, I mean the comparatives and superlative degrees. Here will be also some sentences having fill in the blanks, and your learner will be able to fill in the blanks with the use of comparative and superlative degrees. The example first one is Taifa is a reliable within bracket worker than Ariana. Number 2, you can do maths problem within bracket accurately with a calculator. And number 3, English is within bracket common second language in the world. So you will expect your learners to use the proper use of comparative and superlative degrees. And the last item, here we would like to mention the use of future tense. Here will be also some fill in the blanks, and there will be 3 options. Out of those 3 options, your learners will be asked to pick the right one. So the sentences are, number 1, what do you think? There is a gap, tomorrow. So the right answer options are A, does it rain? B, is it going to rain? C, is it raining? So this is your task to make clear about your student what will be the right option here, and with your help we expect that your learners will be able to write or pick the right answer. Number 2, my friends are going to watch a movie, but I am gap. The options are A, not go, B, not going, C, don't go. And the last one, I'm sorry I made such a mess, gap, do it again. So the right options are I will, the second option I won't, the third option I didn't. So in such a way we expect your learners will be able to practice more and more linguistic items that I have mentioned here, and outside from any functional grammar book. The intention, the final intention is to make your student be very careful, very conscious, very active users of language, because without being a conscious and expert knowledge on any grammatical item, your learners will not be able to speak fluently, write fluently, or listen fluently, or read fluently. So, language awareness is a very important issue regarding learning a language.
Brilliant, safe. So now you all know we need linguistic competence for language accuracy. So how can learners achieve language accuracy and awareness?
Dear learners, now we'd like to build a relationship between language awareness and accuracy. Actually, language awareness depends on the practice, a mass practice of language items. So, if any learners or any second language users are not practicing a lot to achieve a confidence on the grammatical item, he or she will not be aware of that particular language awareness. So, we need to build a relationship between the accuracy and language awareness. So, whenever any learners are practicing language a lot, he or she will automatically be able to language aware, and ultimately this sort of awareness leads to her language accuracy. So, there is a very fantastic and very close relationship between the language awareness and accuracy. So, if any learners are aware about that particular language, so he or she will be able to be aware of that particular language.
Dear trainees, I hope you all have been benefited from this program. You all are now able to build a platform for language awareness, revise basic grammatical items, raise awareness for practical grammar reference books. Still, if you have any queries, you can talk to your tutor. You can visit our dynamic website www.bou.edu.bd. Contact Dean, School of Education, Bangladesh Open University, Gazipur 1705. So that's all we have for today. Thank you very much for watching the program. We'll be back with some more programs on language skills. Until then, keep practicing. Take care. Goodbye.